super high-tech strategy to go from 0 to 1 to start a permaculture homestead and build a cob house, starting with no money, no land, no experience. We need land, we need time, we need money, and we need the energy to do the projects. Just wanted to work through some thoughts. The thing is, I'm not on land yet. So a lot of the things that I would think about, like, okay, like, let's get started, I can't do yet. So it's really about how to get there. I just have to keep reminding myself that the stage I'm at right now is about laying the groundwork. So what do we need in order to get started? We need land, time, energy, knowledge is a plan. Okay, so we need land, time to actually do the work, energy to do the work, money. We need money for supplies that we can't source from the land with time and energy. Some things you can get, if you have the land, the time, and the energy, you don't need money for everything. Like, you can go and chop your own trees, dig your own rocks. But some things you are going to need money for, like equipment, specialized supplies, or something that you don't want to take the time. Like, if we need straw, you can't, if you have enough time and the land, you can just grow your own straw, right? But that's not going to make sense to wait and grow, because it's not a very expensive resource compared to how long it takes. And there's always just unexpected things that take money. Although we are wanting to do this pretty thrifty, I know you always have to plan for more money than you think. And then knowledge and a plan. That one trips me up too, because I think you can't, like, how do we know what we need to know until we actually get started? But you have to be strategic in what type of steps you're using to get there. Okay, so another thing that has made this continue to feel really inaccessible is just the land. For one, land just seems so incredibly valuable to me. I have it on a pedestal. Like, it's so expensive, it's so valuable. Even if somebody put a huge down payment into my hands today and showed me, like, the monthly payment for the land, I don't actually feel worthy to go buy land today. I'm getting choked up. It is actually really weird being this open about it. Yes, the land itself feels so incredibly valuable to me because of everything that it represents. It represents the ability and permission for my family to go and exist together and work towards the things that we want to have. And I still have a mentality that we don't deserve that, because I haven't worked hard enough for it. I haven't suffered enough for it. I haven't created enough value in the world to earn that. And I still have a self-perception that I'm not responsible enough to handle it. And that if we're able to get an opportunity to do these things, that we might ruin it. I really do think a huge part of this whole thing is about adjusting yourself to match what you want. Because I know what I want. I've known what I wanted for a long time. Why haven't I gotten any closer? I've worked hard. I've worked really hard, but I haven't gotten myself any closer to that. Why? I think this is really the answer. It's that I don't think I haven't thought I've deserved it, and that's still there. So it's an inside-out process. Has to start in here. You have to become the person that is worthy, and you have to believe that you are worthy. You have to believe that you are the right fit for that, for whatever it is that you want. So I'm working on that. And I can share more about that in another video. I wanted this to be more about the strategy. So let's get back on track. Things we're going to need: land, time, energy, money, knowledge, and a plan. So for each of these, I want to make sure that I'm getting closer day by day, week by week. So the land is a little ambiguous still. I don't exactly know. I don't have a very specific plan on how we're going to actually acquire land yet. I do have some strategies that I am exploring from people who have done exactly this, gone from no money, no land, no experience, and been able to put together a business plan and acquire, investors, partners, collaborate with people that already had land. There's different ways that you can go about it, but if you have a strong vision that other people want to support, and you have a business plan for how you're going to make that profitable and create value for other people, then there are ways to go about it. So I don't know exactly what that's going to look like yet, but I do have strategies that have worked for other people that I am following. So that's one thing for getting closer to being able to acquire land. And then for time, I mean, really, we have to buy our own time. That's the main thing, time-wise. I mean, as a homeschooling mom, a good portion of my time is already accounted for no matter what else I do. I'm never going to be able to, work on this day in and day out because my kids have to come first. But I'd like to incorporate them as much as possible. So it would just be more working slowly, but working together. And that's really the point anyway. It doesn't need to go fast. We have to be able to put time into it, which means I need to not have a ton of external obligations, aka I can't go get a full-time job and then expect to go and work 40 hours a week building something physically from scratch on the land. So if I need to keep my time free, I can't go get a job, but we also need money, then I'm going to start a business. Now, starting a business isn't exactly a time-saving operation in most cases. So I'm focusing on a business model that is going to remain very low time hungry, not time hungry. Of course, there's always ongoing efforts with any business. There's going to be different marketing things or, when issues arise, anything like that. But the main business model is that when I have the time to create another resource, I will do that on my own time, create it, put it up, do whatever I need to do to, market it, list it. And the idea is that over time, if I'm putting in a small amount of weekly hours, but I'm doing that consistently, that over time it will snowball. And while I'm not expecting this to, make me a lot of money this month or next month, but eventually I can get consistent returns from semi-passively. No, it's not truly passive because, it is proportional to what I put into it, but it's not hour for hour. It does grow over time. Okay. So that is time and money, both. That's why I'm starting that business. Energy. I have been living sedentary. I have, over the past couple of years, working from home. It has led to me sitting in front of a computer, basically, hours and hours on a daily basis. It's really limited the amount of outdoors activities that I've done with my kids, and it has really taken an impact on my health. I also had another baby during that time. She is like a year and a half now, and I don't feel that I have the energy that I'm going to need to do physical manual labor on a daily basis. I'm aware of that. I am not in shape. I am not strong. I am not fit. I do not have the energy that I'm going to need to complete these projects. Part of why I've always been drawn to the sort of outdoors, living off the land lifestyle. I just feel more aligned with that type of life rather than, working at a desk and making a whole bunch of cash so that I can go buy organic food from Whole Foods and then go to a fancy gym where I can do, specialized exercises. I'm just not drawn to it. I feel very connected with the idea of having an active, healthy lifestyle just because that's just what your life is. When you live off the land, there are endless things that have to be done that get you off your butt, like get you moving, get you in the sunshine. That's what I want. I feel good that that's what I'm working towards. However, if you were to dump me into that lifestyle today, I would be a wreck. One of the many things that I want to do to get closer to living this healthy lifestyle is actually preparing myself physically. So basically, I want to get in shape so that when it's like, okay, here's your land, build a cob house. I'm not a fish out of water. I would like to actually be able to sustain cardio and lift heavy things, and do that without, breaking my back or something. So that's another thing, is getting in shape so that I actually have the energy to do these projects when the time comes. And then the last one, knowledge and a plan. Now, I am okay with not knowing everything before I get started. I'm aware of a lot of really excellent resources for learning great strategies and techniques and buildings and all those types of things. I really want to do like the Cobb House workshop in Tennessee. But at this point, I think most of those things are putting the cart in front of the horse a little bit. So in terms of a plan, I'm focusing more on learning foundational things like how to get the land, what kind of business is going to be profitable, what makes sense to start with right away, what versus, leaving it for 2 years down the line. Learn what is needed for step one from 0 to 1. Because right now we're at 0. Right now I'm at good intentions. 0 to 1. That's where we're at. So we kind of put this together, kind of like plan to get the land, time, and start a business. And then the last one is energy for projects, get in shape. Okay, here is my super high-tech strategy for how to go from 0 to 1 in my plan to start a permaculture homestead and build a cob house, starting with no money, no land, no experience. Okay, so here's what we're going to need to make this happen. We need land. We need time, we need money, and we need the energy to do the projects, right? It's labor intensive. To get land, right now, I'm just learning from models. So what did people that started in my situation, what did they do that worked? Learn it. That's what I'm doing right now. Step 2, we're going to need time and money. So I'm starting a semi-passive business that will grow over time. The only resource I'm really starting out with is time. What I can do is create things that are valuable to other people, a little bit at a time, and just keep adding resources to the shop that I'm starting. And, week over week, if I'm consistent with it, it will grow semi-passive income. And then we are going to need energy to do labor-intensive projects in order to build what we want to build. So I'm going to get healthy. So thanks for watching, and I will keep you up to date.